God, for me to say crazy sound my life, that's crazy. Always worrying about what things are going to snitch on me and go now. The hell is a drug addict? You know? Can't go far if you get it together.
I think she stayed in Oklahoma City because she had to stay close to her people with the drugs. She would come to my house to rest and then right back to the city. She lived every day like it was her last.
As the weeks go by, Shad spends more and more time in the city. She recklessly flaunts her wild lifestyle right under the nose of police, knowing they could be onto her at any time.
I want to live my full force, you know? I didn't want to just sit in my hotel somewhere. I'll never get home. Party, have sex, or whatever.
Mom's always been, the pretty girl who would always get whatever she wanted, the Barbie. She's always had that attention, that male attention. That's a lot of times her weakness.
Over the next couple of months, the assault case of Jerry Williams grows cold. Jerry is recovering at home. He still claims that he doesn't remember the identity of his attackers. Dacia's not cooperating either.
There was a time I went to Dacia's door and there was definitely somebody in the house. Nobody was coming to the door. If I don't talk to them, they don't say nothing. It won't get me in trouble. They won't be able to find Donna.
Finally, in November, Eastridge's persistence pays off. She gets the phone call she's been waiting for. One of Dacia's neighbors calls her and IDs two of the people she's looking for.
I need to talk with Bubba and Donna.
Detective Eastridge finally has names for two possible suspects, Donna Schatz and her cousin Bubba. TJ has never identified. All she needs now is for Jerry to positively ID them. After 3 months of withholding information, Jerry breaks down and tells Eastridge that Schatz and Bubba are his attackers.
It's nothing new to law enforcement to have your victims threatened. He was very panicked at the time.
On December 6th, more than 3 months after the attack on Jerry, arrest warrants are finally issued for Donna Schatz and Bubba. The pair faces charges for maiming and robbery with a dangerous weapon. The legal executive warrants are issued. Schatz is checking the Oklahoma court system to find out the status of her divorce case. When she pulls up her name, she is shocked to see a warrant out for her arrest.
I'll never forget looking down, seeing the state versus Don Schatz and Bubba.
None of the warrants have been issued for her and Bubba. How long will it take police to find them?
I'm glad we got Jersey Mike's for lunch. Yeah, this circle looks great. Wait, why is Danny DeVito fishing here?
Oh, that doesn't matter. This is Jersey Mike's commercial. So what matters most is your sub and that sub bowl. Freshly sliced. That's what matters.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm feeding the fish for alone.
Yeah, but
That was a problem. We're the subs man host. The Jersey Mike's man. The sub above.
moving into our first song came with a lot of unknowns.
That's why we got Link Outdoor 4, wire-free smart security cameras.
With HD day and night video and person detection, we never have to wonder. Political Pete lost her sheet, mainly because her team was stuck doing office work. What if she used the smart buying tools on Amazon Business? They help you work more efficiently. So you can focus on bigger things.
I'm so fancy. People ready.
Not so little anymore. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business time. Amazon Fire TV has a great recommendation.
So they knows what you want to watch before you do.
Not this ancient book that. Oh, how about bottles? Vegetarian, terrestrial?
don't know if the year's gonna warm.
Get into more what you're into and buy your TV.
Another episode.
December 10th, 2006, Afton, Oklahoma. It's been over 3 months since Donna Schatz, her cousin Bubba, and her friend TJ beat her ex-boyfriend Jerry Williams almost to death. While checking her divorce status, she has just seen her and Bubba's names come up in red.
And I opened it up and it's literally freaked out. I said, Crystal, we're going to prison for the rest of our life.
She calls Bubba in a panic to tell him the news.
I said, you called charges and it's robbery and maiming is bad. Wherever you're at, you need to go. I'm leaving Crystal's and I'll catch up with you.
Schatz and Bubba are now fugitives on the run. Eastridge is hitting dead ends in her search. What she doesn't know is the pair hasn't gone far. Schatz and Bubba hold up for the holidays in a motel in Oklahoma City.
We spent Christmas together because we can spend the rest of our family.
That same week, the Oklahoma City's Metro Fugitive Task Force is brought in to lend manpower to the investigation. They find and question friends and family of the two fugitives.
It's just the man who been for that, going out and checking addresses. And then it's not the living person just seeing if you can find them. This is a 24-hour job.
Then, on January 3rd, 2007, Bubba blows it.
He was going with his girlfriend, getting on the door, trying to talk to her or whatever. Man, they get shit mad and fuck with something.
What are you doing?
Bubba is arrested for harassing his ex. When authorities fingerprint Bubba, they discover the outstanding warrant. He is immediately booked into the Oklahoma County Jail. A family member calls Schatz to give her the shocking news. A month later, with the threat of her own capture looming, Schatz has been partying harder than ever. A friend hooks her up with another local supplier. When the women arrive, Schatz gets a bad feeling when she sees 7 pounds of heroin in the dealer's trunk.
I'm like, oh my god, yeah. Let's go back to the car. I knew something was coming in. It didn't take long.
But before Schatz can get back to her car, her hunch is confirmed.
I'll never forget, I looked around and I seen trucks everywhere.
The trucks are SWAT armored vehicles. Federal agents descend on Schatz, her friend, and the dealer with guns drawn.
What is going on? You know, I was freaking. I'm like, all this for me?
Schatz is certain her run from the law has come to an abrupt end.
I was going to jail, you know?
But in a surprise twist, Schatz learns police are not after her.
They didn't want me. They wanted somebody to send a county heroin in that truck.
Police tell Schatz and her friend they are free to go.
My heart was pounding so hard.
A huge wave of relief washes over her.
I could not believe I just got away from this world, from this real world.
Since Bubba's arrest a month ago, police have been sifting through every corner of Oklahoma City looking for Schatz. But she is proving to be elusive.
She was on the run for a while. And so that in that aspect, in trying to get my suspect caught, it was a harder case.
Detectives repeatedly visit Schatz's friends and family, putting pressure on them to give her up.
I think Donna had a lot of people she could find. People to keep it secret where she was at. People to bring her things if she needed them. And if she would have gone elsewhere, you know, maybe she not had that course. Maybe that's truly why she stayed there.
February 16th, 2007. Shots has been on the run for 6 months when authorities get the call they've been waiting for. Someone who knows Shots is finally willing to talk. Law enforcement learns that Shots is at the roadside motel in southeast Oklahoma City. She is laying low in her room, but instinct tells her something is not right. Half a dozen deputies from the Metro Fugitive Task Force are in the motel parking lot, preparing to take her down. The officers aren't taking any chances.
There's always a concern if you got somebody that's been hiding that for a while. Are they going to take it to the extreme measure that I never want to get caught? I'm going to do whatever it takes not to get caught.
I remember kidnapping, looking out the window.
Shots sees police approaching her door. She's now certain that someone has tipped them off. There's nowhere to run. The officers order her to come out of the room. After 6 months, Shots knows her time on the run has come to an end. In a way, she's relieved.
That's hard looking on my back, one of them's gonna rat on me. And then they grab a hold of me, put handcuffs on me, stuck guns in my hand.
Shots is arrested and booked into the Oklahoma County Jail.
It's overwhelming satisfaction that you've done your job, you've done it right.
During the trial, Sherry Williams refuses to take the stand against his assailants. The robbery charge is dropped. The maiming charge is amended to aggravated assault and battery. Bubba receives 7 years due to prior felony convictions. Because she has no prior record, Shots receives a 5-year suspended sentence.
There's no doubt in my mind that he took the stand. We would be doing about 50 years right now.
She comes away with a powerful lesson.
I've learned my piece of peaceful. You don't sit around and wish that you get to see somebody get hurt. Because you just might get what you wish for. And that might cost you the rest of your life.
On this episode of I Almost Got Away with It, 2 stories of fugitives determined to evade capture. First, a violent drifter bludgeons a friend in a fit of rage.
Often you realize how somebody has been killed.
He makes a desperate run with his girlfriend, leaving a paper trail in his wake.
Are the suspect were using the credit card to show up his murder.
This killer will do anything to stay free.
Giving a card that killed someone else. Didn't matter because I was thinking.
Can the detectives chase them down before it's too late? Then, a teenage delinquent from Columbus, Ohio, escapes from juvenile hall.
We were concerned that he was armed and dangerous. Witnesses were violent and scared.
He eludes capture with help from a surprising conspirator.
Here's a mother. I don't want to say no to it. The actor participating in the company.
For months, the fugitive stays one step ahead of the cops.
Handcuffs are in the body bag.
Authorities will stop at nothing to put these criminals behind bars. Criminals sometimes try to escape from justice. This is the story of how 2 almost got away with it. First, Howard Brown spins out of control in a drug-fueled frenzy. Monday, November 18th, 2002, 5 p.m. Dania Beach, Florida. The Royal Palm Yacht Basin is home to Harry Marston. The 56-year-old veteran lives in his boat, a 26-foot yacht he calls the Plan B. Harry's niece, who lives nearby, is looking for her uncle. She approaches the boat, peers inside, and makes a horrifying discovery.
Hello?
Harry is at the VA clinic in Oakland Park, Florida, picking up his medication. He and another vet strike up a conversation. Howard Brown and his girlfriend, Gwen McConnell, are also there to pick up pain meds.
Well, it turned out that Harry and my girl, they knew each other a long time ago because his niece is dating with my girl.
Almost immediately, Harry befriends the couple. They have something in common, besides being veterans. Brown and Perry are both drug users.
I really wasn't present when he used drugs. Very bad.
We say understand. Oh my God.
Perry invites Brown and Gwen, who are living in a hotel, to come visit him on the Plan B.
And he said, why don't you just come stay on the boat for a few days?
Perry also gives Brown some money to pick up drugs on the way over.
In fact, gave me money and he's afraid to drive down and go buy drugs himself.
Perry's invitation is a fateful decision. He knows little about the couple, and especially about Howard Brown. 43-year-old Brown and 29-year-old Gwen live a fast life of sex, drugs, and violent crime. With no permanent address, they've been drifting from city to city along the coast of South Florida since they met a decade earlier. According to Brown, they're both hardcore heroin addicts. He supports their habit by dealing drugs, robbing unsuspecting people. He claims Gwen supplements their income as a part-time stripper and prostitute.
We're out there doing the drugs and committing crimes and whatever came along. I was game for whatever. It didn't really matter.
Brown and Gwen share a nickname that's a testament to their lifestyle and mentality.
She's pretty wild. They call me Psycho. They call her Psycho Chick.
Dr. Williams is a forensic psychologist with expertise in inmate evaluations. He has not met Brown, but has reviewed his records.
The fact that his nickname is Psycho, the fact that he has a tattoo that says Psycho, he's advertising to the world that he doesn't play by world rules, he plays by his own rules.
Brown's capacity for violence has no limit. It's a terrifying fact that Perry is about to discover. Wednesday, November 13th. Brown and Gwen arrive on Perry's yacht. They come stop with a middle-aged blonde, oxycontin, heroin, and crack cocaine.
So rather than party in the hotel room, we're going to hang out on the boat.
Brown claims the trio spends the next 2 days on a high-octane drug binge.
More smoking back. Obviously, for me, a lot at a time. And they were doing like 1 or 2 weeks. It was on a pop. It was like 2 days. 2 days straight.
Gwen has had enough. Brown and Perry decide to score one more fix.
Oh, yeah. I got the car on down the street. I wasn't gone 15 minutes. And when I came in, he was sitting there looking all crazy. And he didn't look like, he was just Jonesy first to go. Something was wrong.
According to Brown, Gwen claims Perry tried to force himself on her. Brown is enraged.
And I said, what? She said he was trying to mount me when he came in. He was trying to force his way through my legs. They heard the car pull. I said, no. I said, no. He keeps his composure, sits down with Miss Marston to talk about it. That seems like Mr. Brown knew what he was going to do.
Brown goes berserk. He swings at Perry with clenched fists. They tumble to the floor.
I dropped him and realized I was coming here for the kill. He reached for his gun for him. I couldn't let that happen, so I stopped him. And that didn't even trick. He sat right back up, so I got him in. He was still standing up, so like the third time I was charged. Right there, against me, say third time's a charm shows that this man has a complete lack of empathy, that he's actually describing it as if some form of meaningless entertainment.
Gwen runs in screaming. Brown looks down at his victim, still struggling for breath.
I snap, I go to raise, I snap out of that. Just did. I went totally wild. And when she said something, it snapped me out of it. I was like, oh. But he was still alive at the time, so I knew he wasn't going to make it. But she didn't really care. My mind was flying with, what am I going to do?
He doesn't have any sense of, oh my God, what have I done? He is simply unfazed by the violence.
We had to get out of there. So let's get everything that I can think of, our names on it, get out.
Brown takes Perry's wallet, including his ID, credit card, and some cash. Brown also takes 2 handguns stashed under the bed and the murder weapon. He drapes his sheet over the body, and they take off.
I had to get out of there.
It's almost dawn, and the couple fears that once the sun comes up, their horrible crime will be discovered.
Jerry Frieda Senior Boost. Daily multivitamin for adults 60 plus. Support your heart, brain, bones, vision, and more with over 25 key nutrients. Formulated just for adults 60 and over. No iron, no sugar, no dairy, no artificial additives. Just what your body needs, including betaine for digestion. Doctor formulated, trusted since 1928. Jerry Frieda Senior Boost. Give your body what it needs, so it gives back what you put in.
My favorite husband was July 5, and I've told many times. It's something I didn't know. I was just a young girl, coming from the village without shoes, and came to know that sky is the limit. And there's a cup.
The latest trend in shopping. You know it's Amazon Lives. Go from camera roll to closet, or uploading pics of your favorite looks, and shop similar matches and make all your own. Oh, you want to get specific? Just serve for a second. Boom, like that. Whatever's put on your inspo feed, find it in the Amazon shopping app. See it, shop it. Amazon Lives.
Amazon Fire TV has so many great recommendations.
It's like it knows what we want to watch before we do.
Found this ancient book in that. Oh, how about vows? Vegetarian, terrestrial?
Hell,
Patriarchus?
you don't know if the American alarm
Look into more what you're into. Fire TV.
Saturday, November 16th, 2002. Dania Beach, Florida. Howard Brown and his girlfriend, Gwen, had been on a 3-day frenzy of crack cocaine, heroin, and painkillers with fellow drug user Perry Marston. A fight ensues, and Brown brutally crushes the man's skull with a hammer.
She got in the car. She missed it. And she had time. There was a lot of blood. And I had blood splattered all over me.
Brown heads south towards Miami, driving Perry Marston's car. He's certain the police will be looking for the vehicle.
I was constantly thinking about what would I be doing if I was a cop? How would I be looking at it? What my approach would be?
On the way to Miami, the fugitives stop at a gas station to clean up.
I looked in the mirror, I had some tires in my face, I wiped all out, and it out. We washed all our clothes, and got rid of what we didn't need, packed it all up.
When the couple gets to Miami, Brown finds a place to ditch the car.
There's a abandoned shopping center. The bus terminal is in the back.
They pay cash for bus tickets and make the 5-hour ride from Miami to Florida's west coast. They arrive in St. Petersburg at 5 p.m., 12 hours after the murder. Brown and Gwen need to get off the streets. Brown assumes it will be at least a week before police are on to him.
I was expecting at least 5-6 days before they even discovered it.
He makes a calculated but risky move. He calls a motel and impersonates his victim.
I told him that I wanted to pay for a room for somebody.
Brown books a room under his own name using Perry's stolen credit card.
I knew that once they really investigated, they really know who was involved. It doesn't matter when they get there. They'll get there.
Gwen is suffering from the effects of the narcotics wearing off.
She was going to say,
The problem with a criminal who they are also addicted to drugs is that there's always this ticking clock.
Brown takes Gwen to a shady part of St. Petersburg and makes a trade at the street dealer. The handguns in exchange for more heroin. Drugs in hand, they head to the motel to get high.
by the time we got to the hotel, I said, "Oh, did I get hurt from my boss?" And she said, "Yeah, everything's great." So, yeah. And that was that.
Safely out of sight, the fugitives can finally relax and shoot up. Brown knows they need to keep moving, but for now they have a place to stay. In the morning, they'll figure out their next move. Monday, November 18th, 5 p.m. Detective Glenn Buchanan responds to a 911 call at the Royal Palm Yacht Basin in Dayton Beach, Florida.
The body was found inside his cell phone. He was in a fetal position. The scene overall was gruesome. The victim was already in the early stage of decomposition for at least 3 to 4 days. It was quite a bit of blood.
Buchanan immediately begins an area canvass, questioning the neighbors who have gathered near the boat. Information flows quickly.
A gentleman who lived in the area told me that a few days earlier, he in fact met 2 individuals on the victim vessel while the victim was still alive. These 2 people identified as nicknames Psycho and Psycho Chick, male and female.
Then, Buchanan gets a tip from the victim's niece that makes the case go red hot.
The witness told me that the female worked on local Jones Club.
She also gives Buchanan a troubling piece of information.
I found that the victim purchased 2 games recently. Later, nobody found the vessel.
Buchanan now has vital information on one of his possible suspects, a first name, weapon, and a place of employment, a strip club called Pinky's. For a good cop, that's an easy gap to close. Buchanan contacts Pinky's. The club owner gives him Gwen's full name and mentions her boyfriend.
I learned the true identity of this female suspect for a long time. Learning everything about her, including an arrest that she had here in Brown County.
Gwen's arrest for prostitution threads the needle even further.
When this woman was booked, she left a Mexican name. That name was Howard Brown.
Brown's record showing arrests for theft, drugs, and criminal mischief is even more telling. Within 12 hours of discovering the murder, Buchanan has his persons of interest.
Having their history, their names, being seen with the victim 4 days ago, I had a real good suspicion that these people have a Brown drug.
But tracking the suspects down will be challenging. If they are the killers, They have a 3-day head start. Tuesday, November 19th, 2002. Noon, St. Petersburg, Florida. It's been more than 3 days since the murder. Brown and Gwen are still in the motel, high on drugs. They've squandered their cash and their head start. Brown knows the clock is ticking.
I know it's close. I know it. I got to do something. I got to do it quick. I got to get out of here.
Brown calls the one man he knows he can trust. His friend Chris from his time in the military, who lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Brown's plan is to flee the country.
He asked me where I was going when I told him college. He told me some people have to get ID from new border passes, the whole works trying to get across from St. David.
Chris offers to provide a truck, a gun, and funds for the trip to California. But Chris needs 2 days to get the supplies ready. While he's willing to help Brown, he's unwilling to harbor him. Chris tells Brown not to show up early.
I knew I had some time to kill, so we had to keep moving.
He can't sit still for long. Brown comes up with a clever way to trick police while he waits for his friend to come through. He uses Perry's credit card again.
I bought tickets to Hartford, Connecticut.
Brown plans to get off the bus early in New York City and double back down south to meet his friend Chris in North Carolina. Brown and Gwen arrive in New York on Tuesday. With all of his cash spent, Brown again uses Perry's stolen card. This time he buys bus tickets back to Fayetteville.
They're going to follow the trail of credit card.
His plan is to hide in the bus terminal bathroom and stay high until the bus leaves the following night at 8:20 p.m.
He tried to do a few things to throw the authorities off. He didn't buy a vast number of bus tickets. They overestimated their intelligence.
Wednesday, November 20th, 2002, Fort Lauderdale, 9 a.m. 36 hours after the discovery of the body, Okada feels confident that he has the right suspects, but he needs to find them. Pursuing a hunch, he contacts the victim's bank.
The bank would have then told me that the victim's credit card was in fact being used.
The bank shows records of both bus ticket purchases. The later charge has his suspects leaving New York at 8:20 p.m. Okada follows that lead.
We knew that how Brown was going. We're going to be in the bus in New York City, and we're going to be there waiting for him. We decided to jump on the next plane out.
So, thanks for volunteering for this information.
Okada arrives at Port Authority bus terminal in Manhattan and coordinates with NYPD to quickly set up a covert sting.
This is how we're around.
Just 1 hour before Brown's intended departure.
He's got you in, but we think they make the clocks pretty short.
We decided to hold down the box, and we just laid along the sidewalk.
Okada's plan is to take the fugitives down as they attempt to board the 8:20 p.m. bus to North Carolina. A team of undercover officers is stationed throughout the jump. If it all goes as planned, the couple doesn't stand a chance.
Maggie has always wanted more, so she got way smart home security with the Blink app. The Blink app gives you little moments, which stitches together footage from all your cameras. So you can see what happened in an instant. Get more of the story with the app that gives you more. Blink and get more.
With Amazon's low back to school prices, you can spend less on school supplies, backpacks, and lunchboxes. What? Again? Yeah, again. Spend less on your kids with Amazon.
Repeat the password on July 5 and the full minutes. It's something I dream of. I was just a young girl coming from the village without shoes. I came to know that sky is the limit. I dare to try.
Wednesday, November 20th, 2002, New York City. Howard Brown has been on the run for 5 days after murdering a man in cold blood. Authorities have tracked Brown and his girlfriend to the Port Authority bus terminal. A team of officers in disguise waits to pounce. But what the cops don't know is that Brown has managed to outwit them. Several hours earlier, Brown noticed a bus heading to his destination leaving at 2:20.
It's the same bus that we take from the point. I really just want to get out of that. Come on, let's go. And we jumped on that bus.
So the fugitives had slipped away before the undercover operatives even had a chance to set up the sting.
After waiting in the terminal for about 4 hours, we realized that we missed our driver's girlfriend. Somehow, they got by us.
Okada calls off the stakeout. Thursday, November 20th, 2002. Brown and Gwen arrive in Fayetteville, North Carolina around 1 a.m. They have plans to meet Chris the next morning.
Yes.
Brown books another hotel room with Barry's credit card. It is a fatal mistake. Within a couple of hours, Detective Okada makes the discovery.
Yeah, my first phone call is to the bank.
The bank confirms that the credit card was used to book a room at a Fayetteville motel just after midnight. Okada immediately contacts Fayetteville authorities. He can't risk missing his man again.
We told the circumstances, we told them that 2 warrants for individuals, 1 for murder.
10:30 a.m. A Fayetteville SWAT team assembles to make the arrest. Brown and Gwen leave their room on their way to meet Brown's friend Chris. Brown will soon flee the country. In his mind, he's almost gotten away with it.
Once I left Fayetteville, I was home free. I wasn't going to let anything stop me. I suspected I was probably going to death penalty or came on down to it. So it didn't matter. They can only kill me once.
The parking lot in the hotel were under surveillance amongst them.
Brown and Gwen cross the hotel garage and walk right into the crosshairs of the SWAT ambush.
We were walking the SWAT team with the protectors all crouched up underneath buses, screaming down on the ground.
Fayetteville PD rushed to grab Brown.
Behind cars, comes the SWAT team.
Brown considers going for death by club.
Instantly, my brain said, pull the wall out like a gun. I was going to make a shoot me. I had to split it up to pieces already. And not with a wallet. And then after they shoot me, I'll have the wallet in my hand. So the last slap in the face.
At the last moment, Brown has a change of heart.
I was afraid she'd get hit while they got me.
They took over Howard Brown as well in custody in the parking lot of Texas.
So it takes down any bookings for work.
Webb pleads guilty as an accessory and receives a 3-year sentence. Brown pleads guilty to second-degree murder and receives a 30-year sentence.
It's better off our Brown still in prison today.
They came up with this theory and tried to make it stick of this box robbery. And that's not how it was. My name is Rob. This dude are just stupid. Now, I could take what I need to take away. But it wasn't a box robbery. I was robbing to just let you go to the ATM or someone wants to track down.
Brown will be 73 years old by his first parole hearing in 2032. He believes there was nothing he could have done to change his destiny.
Being put in the same position again, I would do the same thing. I wasn't an irrational impulse or wire.
In our next story, the juvenile delinquent uses his own family to stage a dangerous jailbreak. May 25th, 2008, North Columbus, Ohio. 17-year-old Brandon Starks already has an extensive juvenile record that includes drug and weapons charges. He is sitting outside his childhood home. Suddenly, he spots what he thinks is an unmarked police car. He immediately becomes suspicious.
Should have had a cover by a doctor. Why would it? At the time, I didn't know I was dead. Another quick pull it up.
When the officer opens his door, Stark knows he's in trouble and runs inside.
I took her in the car and started stopping. I walked in the house. She got the shit in the door.
Stark slams a chair in front of the door to keep the police out.
And they started out.
Police have gotten a tip that he's in possession of firearms stolen from law enforcement. This time, Stark has gone too far.
I've been through a whole lot with him since he was like 13 years old, but I thought this was like the craziest and the worst yet.
He was very impulsive. And I think that leads to the kind of crime where somebody may get hurt.
Uncertain what to do, Starks calls his mother Darlene, who is on her way to work as a home health aide.
So I'm in the house to read. I'm out there in the jail.
His grandmother arrives moments later. She calls Starks and convinces him to come out.
She talked him out of the house so they would have to go in and like keep her that.
Starks realizes that he has no choice but to give himself up. His mother arrives as police take him away. Starks is arrested and booked into the juvenile detention center. He fears that this time he'll be treated as an adult.
Trying to get through the life, they wouldn't give it to me. They wanted me to be adult to determine that something he did.
Starks wants out and comes up with a plan. He knows that inmates are allowed to leave the facility to go to doctor's appointments.
You tell your family, like, something wrong with you, they can schedule a doctor.
He thinks this loophole in the system could work for him. On one of her first visits to see her son, Darlene befriends a detention hall guard named Walter Meadows.
He was actually a juvenile correctional officer that worked down there. And I met him and I got to know him.
Starks and his mother are happy to see each other.
The relationship of mine is my best friend. I love him. He's very clear.
He was telling me that he had this toothache that he wanted me to make him get this appointment for.
Then Starks fills her in on the real reason he wants to see the dentist.
I wasn't sure if he was going to actually go through with it.
Darlene reluctantly agrees to make the appointment.
He just didn't do that. We'll stick in water, just use them all for a bit. Help him get out of it.
All I could think about, I was talking to my son, and I thought that was a good way to be there. I showed him that, he did anything for you.
The appointment is covered. Next, Starks writes a letter enlisting 2 of his neighborhood friends to help with the escape.
He was kind of leader. He
he seemed to be like more in charge, or more knowledgeable kid, and the other kid never did know it. So they kind of followed him. But all letters coming in and going out of juvenile hall are monitored. He needs the help of someone on the inside. Luckily for Starks, Darlene's relationship with Walter has become intimate. She asks Walter to look out for her son.
It's great to do things in there that they didn't have, like McDonald's and sweets and stuff like that.
She had started a relationship with him and it turned to a sexual relationship pretty quickly.
Starks sees a potential solution to his problem. Starks takes advantage and asks the guard for a favor, passing his letters to his mother.
And then it goes from that to him getting letters from Brandon and taking them out of the facility and giving them to her uninterrupted and unmonitored.
Walter claims to have no idea what he's delivering. Darlene gives the letters to Stark's friends, 17-year-old Daniel and 19-year-old Christopher. In the letters, Starks asks for their help. He needs them to overpower the guard that takes him to the dentist.
And I was just thinking of my son coming home and not thinking as a parent, as a mom, and I was thinking about all the time that he's going to get emotionally out of the way.
Darlene, now fully invested in her son's escape plan, needs to find the getaway driver. She turns to Stark's half-brother, 19-year-old Curtis. Unlike his brother, Curtis has never been in trouble with the law.
It's kind of sad now that I think about it. I just talked to him and told him that his brother needed him. Because him and his brother really aren't that close. So I just told him it's nothing that he can do for one.
Against his better judgment, Curtis agrees. 9 a.m., June 20th, 2008. Starks has been in detention for nearly 4 weeks. A single guard escorts Starks from juvenile hall to his dental appointment.
We got today. I already knew there would be some people that waited to do that.
Darlene arrives at the dental office to meet her son, as required by the detention center. Curtis is waiting in the getaway car around the corner. She checks in at the dental office, then goes back outside to wait for Starks.
I was feeling nervous and scared when I had my dad, and I wish I could take it back. But it was just too late. I was worried that he's going to be injured.
Starks doesn't arrive at the expected time.
I wasn't sure if he was going to come or not, so I left.
Moments later, the guard goes into the parking lot. Stark's friends, Daniel and Christopher, are there as planned when the guard exits the van.
They approached him with the gun and the mace. The guy goes out and demanded the keys for Brandon.
Christopher tries to mace the guard, but the canister doesn't work. Daniel points the gun at the guard and demands the keys. With no backup, the guard considers reaching for his own weapon. In seconds, the standoff could turn bloody.
Choosing our path to ecstasy. Invoke your senses.
Maggie has always wanted more, so she got work smart home security with the Blink app. Only the Blink app gives you great moments, which stitches together footage from all your cameras. So you can see what happened in an instant. Oh, bummer. You get more of the story with the app that gives you more. Blink and get more.
The latest trend is shopping. You know it's Amazon Lens. Go from camera roll to closet, or upload pics of your favorite looks, and shop similar matches to make them all your own. Oh, you want to get specific? Just circle the circle. Boom, like that. Whatever you put on your info feed, you can find it in the Amazon shopping app. See it, shop it. Amazon link.
Oh, hey, I'm Rachel. I'm for the anything for my own today. Let me grow. I crack it.
June 20th, 2008, Columbus, Ohio. Teenage Indian Brandon Starks has totally used a dentist's appointment as his opportunity to escape detention. He's being helped by his mother, half-brother, and two friends who are hoping the guard will transport him at gunpoint.
They just pointed it at him. Tell you to stay there. Go get the keys.
This is you, the guard. They get ran out of the van. They disappeared in the neighborhood.
As Starks bolts to the getaway car, Daniel and Christopher take off. Curtis speeds over to the home of Stark's girlfriend, Angel. She recently moved, so it seems like a safe place to hide. It's about 10 miles away in northeast Columbus.
I felt relief for at that point because, you know, everything was okay. He didn't get hurt. No one else got hurt.
It's my mother. She would be willing to put herself, her other son, and Brandon Starks in that kind of harm's way. And someone could have got killed. And here was a mother, you know, not only saying okay to him, but actively participating in helping him.
Meanwhile, Columbus police detectives David McKee and Guy Petit are called to the scene. First, they question the guard.
We were concerned that he was armed and dangerous. It was a violent escape.
McKee issues an all points bulletin for Starks. They launch a manhunt for the teenage fugitive.
It's not like he just ran away. He orchestrated an armed kidnapping of a girl to help spring him free.
Meanwhile, Starks has arrived at Angel's house. When he turns on the TV, he sees the local news stations are already reporting his escape.
First, they just said someone had escaped, and they said my name. Then he was going to say my name and put a picture of
They broadcast information about his escape. It was all over everywhere.
Your face gets out on TV. It's hard for you to move without somebody seeing you walking around.
Across town, McKee and Petit interview Darlene at her home.
Anything you can tell us that might help us find him.
She insists she has no knowledge of Stark's escape or his current location. For the next 48 hours, the detectives continue interviewing Stark's family and known acquaintances.
We put a lot of pressure on the family to help us fund it. Mom, grandma, just different relatives, which nobody wanted to help us find them.
Finally, they get a promising lead.
We ended up finding out that he had a girlfriend. We're trying to track the location of where this girl lived.
The detectives don't have an exact address, but send a SWAT team to the neighborhood where they believe she lives. Starks has seen unmarked cars cruising the neighborhood all night. As the day wears on, he grows increasingly paranoid. He's convinced the police are closing in on him.
But I knew he was coming.
He bolts into a wooded area behind the house.
He knew that we were getting pretty close, so he decided to hightail it out the back door.
Starks frantically runs, uncertain of where he's headed.
He started. Get away. And I ran through the woods.
When he reaches a road, he gets his bearings. Starks then makes his way to his friend Martin's house in the West Columbus neighborhood waiting for a ride. Meanwhile, police are still searching for Starks in Angel's neighborhood, with no idea that he's fled across town.
By the time we found out exactly what house he was at, he was gone.
In West Columbus, Starks is safely holed up in the basement of his friend Martin's house.
He had a network of gang friends and just acquaintances that were basically taken care
I don't think he had any plans of going out of town. He just wanted to go from friend's house to friend's house.
Darlene realizes that for Starks to stay free, he's got to get out of Columbus. She calls a friend for help. But her friend doesn't want to be an accessory to a crime.
This is Detective Nick.
of. He said, I just received a telephone call from Brandon's mother. She's trying to get him out of the Central Highway area. At that point, we had gone, she needed to be arrested.
June 25th, police pay another visit to Darlene.
You're under arrest.
They arrest her for obstruction of justice. She faces up to 20 years in prison. Darlene is booked into the county jail. When questioned by the detectives, she denies being involved in Stark's escape and claims to not know where he is. Attorneys from the prosecutor's office are called in.
We tell her, look, this is your son. His life is in danger. And these cops see him, they're going to assume he's armed and dangerous. So he's either going to come home, the handcuffs are in a body bag.
Man, you're facing 20 years for your involvement.
Darlene is soon convinced to accept a deal for immunity.
I could never sleep at night thinking that I'll get a phone call saying that they found him dead somewhere. He was killed in a shootout.
She divulges everything.
And once, she realized that she was caught, she had two options: to help us or go to prison.
I'm already in deep. Why not just go ahead and cooperate? You made a mistake, so I have to pay for it.
And then she determined and told him everyone to stay in her own body. Was.
Within a week, Curtis, Daniel, Christopher, and Walter Mills are arrested. Walter admits to passing liars, but claims he knew nothing about the escape plans. The one person still at large is Brandon Starks. He's still hiding out at Martin's house. But maybe not for long. Authorities get an anonymous call. The tipster has seen Starks going in and out of the house in West Columbus. Starks may soon be heading for a reunion with his friends and family in jail. For more stories about fugitives on the run, go to investigationdiscovery.com. July 30th, 2008. Police are zeroing in on teenage fugitive Brandon Starks. Starks has been on the run for a month after a daring escape from a juvenile detention facility.
Sometimes when the guy's on the run,